So, good morning everyone and welcome to my yoga class. So, as always, if you are working with any injuries at the moment or if you have any medical conditions that may affect your practice, please be mindful of that. You can always change the yoga poses, adapt the yoga poses, or if you really need to, just rest and then join in back again when you are ready. Obviously, if you are pregnant, this yoga class is not suitable for you. I do have some very good friends though that are qualified to teach prenatal yoga, so if you would like me to head you in their direction, send me a message. And obviously, as always, just enjoy the class. Take it at your own pace. I will try and describe and explain everything as clearly as I can, and just have fun. Take it at your own pace. I will hopefully try and give lots of different options for certain yoga poses, but just have fun. That is my main thing about these yoga classes. There is enough stress going on in the world right now as it is. We do not need to add to that stress by doing a super strict, stressful yoga class. So have fun. Take this however you need it to set you up for a fabulous day. And that is how we're going to rock and roll. So we're going to start in any position that's comfortable for you. So I'm going to stay sitting cross-legged. I know that's really uncomfortable for some people. So if you would like to, you can take your legs out nice and long in front of you. Maybe some of you prefer to come up into kneeling. If you want to lie down on your yoga mat, you are more than welcome to. And maybe if, like me, you conveniently have a sofa behind you, maybe you even sit and you're resting against something, so your back's got something to rest on. But you're just going to find your comfortable position, whatever that is for you. There really is no right and wrong here. And we're just going to take a little moment to check out of our day and into you. So get nice and comfortable. Really see if you can just gently, maybe even close the eyes. And just start allowing whatever may be playing on your thoughts to gently fade away. Knowing that for the next hour, you're here for just you and your yoga practice. So the only person and the only thing that you need to worry about is you. So I'd like you to start tuning your awareness inwards, observing how your body feels for you this morning. And as always, we're not here to judge or label that. So we're not simply going down our body and cataloguing everything that feels good and bad. We're just observing. And then when you feel satisfied by that, I would like you then to focus on your breathing and the natural rise and fall of your inhales and exhales. And if you find that you're breathing predominantly in towards your chest, I would like you to see if you can start sending your breath down and out towards your belly. So we're trying to ground our breath. And maybe as you become more comfortable with that, you're then going to see if you can start to lengthen your breath. And I like to sometimes aim for maybe a count of 4. You're going to breathe in and out through the nose, counting in a slow, steady rhythm that feels comfortable for you. And it is this smooth and steady breathing pattern that you have created that I would like you to see if you can take with you in towards your physical practice. And we are going to begin the physical part of our yoga class now. So if your eyes are closed, you're really gently going to flutter them open. Say good morning to the world. So from here, all we're going to do is, I don't know which way you're facing on your yoga mat, but you're just going to come now to face the front of your yoga mat. You're going to sit on your bottom. Your feet are going to plant on the floor about hip width apart. Your hands are going to come behind you onto your yoga mat. And your fingers can point any direction you like to. I'm not so bothered about that right now. Just do what feels comfortable for you. And we're just going to start with a nice, gentle twist. So it's like a windshield wiper. So we're just going to gently let the knees knock from side to side, just bringing a little bit of movement into our body. And then we're going to let our knees drop all the way over to the left. And we're going to leave them there. We're then going to take our right hand off the floor. We're going to bring it all the way around to the back. And then I'm going to be specific now. So I want you to see if you can bring all 10 fingers to point towards the back of your yoga mat. We're going to inhale. You're going to lift your chest up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders back. And you want to see if you can find length in your spine. Some of you maybe want to go a little bit further. So if you'd like to go a little bit further, maybe you start to walk the hands out a little bit further in front of you. There may be some of you watching that may even want to come down onto your forearms. But you really want to try and keep the integrity of this pose. So if you come down and you start rounding, I can definitely feel my back rounding. You can come all the way back onto the hands. So really listen to your body. It's that length in the spine that we want to find. So take a nice big deep breath. And then from here, we're going to take that right hand all the way back round behind us again. We're going to lift our knees all the way up to the ceiling. And then we're just going to gently windshield wiper. And from side to side again before we go over to the right. So we're going to let our knees now drop over to the right. Our left hand's going to come off. It's going to come all the way around. And we're going to try and bring all 10 fingers to point towards the back of our yoga mat. So again, we're going to inhale here. We're going to lift our chest up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders back. And again, if you'd like to take this a little bit further, maybe you walk the hands out a little bit further away. Or maybe even you come down onto your forearms. I'm going to personally stay up on my hands because I feel the stretch a lot more here. And yeah, this is a really important thing to note. Going deeper or lower in a yoga pose isn't necessarily going to make it a better stretch. You know, you're not going to reach enlightenment by putting your forearms on the floor. So really stay true to yourself. Listen to your body and let that be your guide rather than what it looks like. Good. So from here, we're now going to take our left hand all the way back round behind us. We're going to bring our knees all the way back up towards the ceiling. And then we're just going to walk ourselves forwards. We're going to give our legs a nice big hug. And then we're going to come all the way back up into sitting. I'm going to turn around to face you. So you can have the legs crossed. I'm well aware that that's not for everyone. So if that's not for you, you can just take the legs out long in front of you. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our hands down towards our legs. And we're going to give our shoulders a little massage. So really, it's like a self-massage. If you know that you're going to be working from home today and you're going to spend a long time sitting at a desk, give your shoulders some love, my friends. We're going to go the other way around. Good. We are then going to let that fade away. And we're going to drop our shoulders down and away from our ears. And we're now going to take that circular motion in our neck. And we're going to do a 3/4 circle. So we're going to inhale, lift up nice and tall. We are then going to exhale. And we're going to bring our chin down towards our chest. From here, we are then going to turn our head over to the right. So I want you to imagine that you're going to slide your chin along your collarbone. From here, we're then going to look back towards the front and your right ear is going to drop towards your right shoulder. So it's like a side bend through the neck. We then lift the head all the way back up to center And then we just keep going. So we're now going to bring our left ear over to our left shoulder. And then we're going to turn the head. So we're going to look down towards that left shoulder now. And then we're going to gently slide our chin along our collarbone. We're looking all the way down at the legs now. And then we're going to lift the head all the way back up. So we're going to do that one more time. We're going to go over to the left first. So we're going to exhale, bring our chin down towards our chest. We are going to slide our chin along our collarbone. So we're going to look at that left shoulder. And then we're going to look forwards and we're going to drop our left ear towards that shoulder. We then bring the head all the way back up. And we're going to take our right ear over to our right shoulder. We then turn the head. So we're going to turn the head and look at our right shoulder. And then we're going to slide our chin along our collarbone. So we're looking down at our legs. And then we're going to lift the head all the way back up. So from here, the theme of the lesson is circles, spirals and waves, my friends. So we're going to continue with the circles. You're going to see, can you, no hands, take your legs into a straddle. We are going to stir the pot, my friends. So you're going to interlace your hands down in front of your chest. You are going to imagine that you have a beautiful big pot in between your legs. And you're going to give it a stir. So you can have anything you want in your pot. It's the morning. So maybe you've got, porridge. If you've got sangria in there, no judgment, no judgment. You can have whatever you want in your pot. Good. And then we're going to try and go the other way round. So we're going to change direction. So for this, as always, just make sure that you're really trying to keep those legs turning, not out, but you want to keep the knees somewhat pointing up towards the ceiling. If they excessively roll in, just squeeze those glutes a little bit and try and roll them up. Good. And then we're going to let that fade away. And then from here, no hands. We're going to bring the legs back together again. So we're then going to take this Mexican wave into our hands. So we're going to join our hands together. We're going to interlace the fingers and we have a little Mexican wave. This is so satisfying to watch when I teach this and you all do this in front of me. It's just so satisfying to watch. We are going to pause there and we're going to go the other way around. Coordination, confusion. Just rock and roll with it. You're at home, so no one can see if you have no idea what's going on right now. Okay, we're then going to join the hands together and we're going to make a little figure of 8. And I want you to imagine that you're doing this in a room full of honey. So there's a little bit of resistance behind it. It's not so much a floppy fish. You've got to work hard, like wading through sticky mud. Good, we're going to pause there. We're going to go the other way round. And again, coordination, confusion. If you're sat there looking at your hands like, what? Are they even going the other way around? Don't worry about it. Just do what feels good. Okay, so we're now going to let that fade away. We're going to release our hands and we're going to make our way into a tabletop position. So we're going to stack our wrists underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. And we're going to continue with that circle theme. So we're going to draw a circle now with our shoulders on top of our wrists. And even though it's the shoulder that's kind of initiating the movement, it's the wrist that we're actually trying to warm up. So maybe your circle becomes so big that your hips then travel down towards your heels, almost like you're circling in and out of child's pose. Good, we're going to change direction. And if you want to kind of add any little bits onto this, any little kind of like wiggles and movements, really go for it. You can indulge in this. Do what you need to do. Because we are then going to let that fade away and we're going to settle into stillness. So from here, we are now going to mobilize our spine. So we're going to exhale. You're going to round your back up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to inhale to reverse that. So you're going to dip the belly slightly. And you're going to look forwards. And we're going to do that 3 more times. So we exhale. The belly button is now going to hug up towards your spine. And then we inhale to reverse that, really rolling those shoulders away from the ears. Good, 2 more. So we're going to exhale. Think of pushing down into the floor with your hands and your legs. And then we inhale to reverse that, just making sure that there's length and space at the back of the neck. Good, 1 more time. So we're going to exhale. Maybe you squeeze your glutes. Does that help you round your lower back? And then we inhale to reverse that one final time. Really open up the chest. And then we're going to come back into a neutral tabletop. So we're now going to add a circle to this. If you've been with me the last 2 weeks, you'll know what's about to happen. We're going to do disco cat. So you're still going to pass through a rounded back and an arched back, but you're going to add a circle to your head and your hips. So try not to think about it too much. Just let your body take over, because more times than not, it will do what it's meant to do. And if you look more like a drunken, delusional cat, that's okay. You're in the comfort of your own home. No one can see you. So it really doesn't matter. Indulge in your disco cat. Let's go the other way round. So really take a moment. You're just trying to ease out all those little nooks and crannies. Good. And then we're going to let that fade away. And we're going to settle back into stillness. So from here, really gently, we're going to come forwards. We're going to hug our elbows in, and we're actually going to lower all the way down onto our tummy. So we're going to separate our legs as wide as our yoga mat, and then we're going to take our hands wider than our yoga mat. So they're actually going to come off to the side. So from here, we are going to tent our fingers. If you find that uncomfortable, you can have the hands flat. But we're going to lift our elbows up towards the ceiling. We're going to slightly engage the legs, so press the tops of the feet down into the floor, and then we're going to do a Mexican wave. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, we're going to push through our fingertips, and we're going to roll up through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, to come all the way up. So the head's the last thing to arrive. When you make it to the top, gently think of almost hugging the elbows back behind you, and really try and roll the shoulders back, open up the chest. And then we're going to exhale, and we're going to reverse that. So it's a Mexican wave. So your belly button's going to go down first, then the lower ribs, then the chest, and then the final thing to land on your yoga mat is your forehead. So we're going to do that 2 more times. So we're going to inhale, push through our hands. And we're going to find that little Mexican wave all the way up. Really push down, so we don't want the shoulders by our ears. We want to make space. And then we're going to exhale, roll all the way back down, belly button, the bottom of our ribs, our chest, and then our forehead. Good. 1 last time. So we're going to inhale, push through our fingertips. And we're going to find that beautiful Mexican wave. And then we exhale, reverse that Mexican wave to gently come all the way back down again. Good. So from here, we're now going to take our hands back underneath our shoulders. We are going to come all the way back into a tabletop. And then from here, we're going to exhale, take our hips all the way back towards our heels, coming into child's pose. So we're going to take 1 nice big deep breath here. And then we're going to come back into our tabletop. And we are now going to step our right foot in between our hands. So if you need to give it a little helping hand, give it a little helping hand. From here, we're going to tuck our left toes under. And we're going to see if we can drive that left heel back to help lift that left knee off the floor. So from here, we're going to come up onto our fingertips again. We're going to inhale, lift our chest up, roll those shoulders back. And then we're just going to rock forwards and backwards. So we're just taking a little moment here. Do what feels good for you. We're just trying to kind of see how the hips feel today. And then, because our theme is circles, we're going to add a little circle to this. So you can just draw a circle with the hips. There really is no right and wrong here. But we're going to change direction. So it's just like almost a massage. It's a little gentle massage for your hips. Good, and then we're going to let that fade away. We're going to gently bring our left knee back down to the floor. We're going to untuck the toes. And then we're going to toe heel this right foot to the outside edge of our yoga mat. And we're going to finish with the toes facing slightly out towards the sides. So from here, we're going to add that twist that we've been doing the last few weeks. So you're going to press down through this left hand. The right hand is going to come forwards. And then we're going to reach up. We're going to open up our chest. And we're going to draw a beautiful big circle pointing to the back of the room. We're then going to reverse that circle. And you have the option to place your hand or your elbow down towards the floor. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So we're going to reach forwards. We're going to reach up. We're going to draw that beautiful big circle. And then we're going to reverse that. And we're going to tap our hand or our elbow to the inside of that right foot. We go 1 more time. So we're going to reach forwards, reach up. Really open up the chest. Oh, I just got a good click there. And then we're going to reverse that circle 1 final time. Placing the hand or the elbow on the floor. And then we're all going to place our hand back down. We're going to toe heel this right foot back. So it's inside our hands. And then we're going to step back into a tabletop. We're going to exhale, briefly take our hips back towards our heels. It's like hot potato. As soon as they touch, you're going to inhale, come back into your tabletop. So from here, we're going to do that on the left. So we're going to take our left foot in between our hands. We are going to tuck our right toes under. And then we're going to really shoot that right heel back to help lift that right leg off the floor. Sorry, not the right leg, the right knee off the floor. You know, 100 points for anyone that can take their whole right leg off the floor right now. So from here, we're going to come up onto our fingertips. We're going to inhale, lift our chest up. And then we're going to gently rock forwards and backwards just to begin with. So take it nice and easy, do what you need to do. And then we're going to add that circle. So there's kind of no right and wrong to this. Just do what feels good for you. And then again, we're going to change direction. So it really is like a little massage. Ooh. And then we're going to let that fade away. We are going to plant the hands on the floor. We're going to lower our right knee down, untuck the toes. And we're now going to toe heel this left foot to the outside edge of our yoga mat. And the toes want to face slightly out. So from here, we're going to add that circle. So left arm's going to come out in front of you, so same arm as front leg. We're going to draw that beautiful big circle. We're going to point to the back of our yoga mat. And then we're going to reverse that circle, tapping either your hand or your elbow to the inside of the foot. We're going to go 2 more times. So really open up the chest. It's not just the arm that's moving here. It's your spine that's working as well. We're going to reverse that circle. Tapping the hand or the elbow. Good, 1 last time. So reach forward, reach up. Imagine you have a paintbrush on the end of your hand. You're trying to draw the biggest circle that you can as we reverse it now. We tap the hand or the elbow. And then we're all going to place the hand back down. We're going to shuffle this left foot back in between our hands. And then we're going to take the left foot back into our tabletop. We're going to exhale, take our hips all the way back towards our heels. And this time we're going to take 1 breath. So from here, we're now going to come back into our tabletop. We are going to extend the right leg out behind us, tucking the toes underneath. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with our left leg. And just like that, we are in a plank. So just make sure for me that your shoulders are directly on top of your wrists. If they're back here somewhere, the bum often rises and then we're kind of in this half downward dog, half plank situation. So just make sure that everything is stacked and that your bottom is in line with your shoulders. So if your bum's sinking down here, lift it up a little bit. And also don't stick the bum out, so we don't want any kind of like J-Lo bums going on. So really gently tuck it under. So from here, I think we've been here long enough for a Wednesday morning. So we're now going to come into our first downward dog. So you're going to exhale, slightly bend the legs. You're going to push the floor away from you to open up that shoulder angle. and you want to find length in the spine. Some of you then may be able to start lengthening your legs and keep that length in the spine. But if you feel that it starts rounding, keep them bent. Absolutely fine. So from here, we're now going to take our downward dog for a walk. So we're going to pedal through the feet. So we're bending and lengthening one leg at a time. If you'd like a little calf stretch, really see if you can drive one heel down and then the other. If, as you do that, you would like to drop the hip, you can drop the hip. And if you really kind of indulge in this and let the hips really shift from side to side, you can actually start to get a little stretch in the side of the body as well. But again, with everything, just do what feels good for you. Because from here, we're now going to settle into stillness. So listen carefully. We are going to walk our hands towards our feet. So we're going to walk our hands back towards us. And if you need to, you can take your feet a little bit wider. If you need to, you can slightly bend the knees as well. But I want you to relax the back of your neck. So let that head hang nice and heavy. Take a nice big deep breath here. And then from here, we're going to roll up through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, to come all the way up to standing. So good morning, everyone. I hope you're feeling a little bit loosey-goosey, a little bit more kind of long and strong and glorious. So we're now going to start our standing sequences. So we're going to do the same sequence that we did the last 2 weeks. The second part will slightly change. So let's go for the first part. We're going to go 3 times through. So we're going to inhale, reach our arms up nice and high. We're going to exhale, take them all the way back down. And then our chin's going to come towards our chest. And we're going to roll down through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, to come back into our forward fold. So you've essentially just reversed what we just did. From here, you are then going to bend your legs. Your heels are going to come off the floor. And we're going to curl up into a little ball. We're then going to add a twist. So your knees and your feet can swivel or pivot. We're going to twist over to the right. And we're going to peel our right arm up towards the ceiling. We come all the way back down. And then we're going to twist over to the left. And our left arm's going to pivot. Come all the way up. We come all the way down, and then we're going to walk forwards into a plank, like a lion or a lioness. Be fierce, my friends. And then we're going to gently lower onto our tummy. You are more than welcome to place your knees down if you need a little bit of support. So from here, we've been a lion, now we're going to be a scorpion. So you're going to bend your right leg. You're going to roll over to the left. Imagine this is your scorpion tail. Some of you may be able to tap the floor. If not, don't worry. We're going to come all the way back. And then we're going to bend our left leg. And we're going to do that little scorpion roll over to the right. We come all the way back. So from here, we're now going to come back into our plank. You are more than welcome to leave your knees on the floor for a little bit of extra support. So from here, we're now going to crawl back into that little ball. So I want you to keep the bum low. Imagine that you're trying to scoot underneath a gate. We're going to come back into that little kind of squat. And then your heels are going to come down. Your hips are going to come up. So we're back in that forward fold. And then we're going to slowly come all the way up, vertebrae by vertebrae, back to the start. And we're going to do it 2 more times through. So we're going to inhale, reach our arms up nice and high. We're going to exhale, take them all the way back down. Your chin's going to come towards your chest. And we're going to roll down through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once we're in our forward fold, we're going to bend our legs. Our heels are going to come off the floor. And we curl up into our little ball. We're then going to twist over to the right, peeling the right arm up. We come all the way down. And then we're going to go over to the left. And you can genuinely indulge in this moment. It never ends. We come all the way back. And then we're going to walk forwards like a lion or a lioness. They're so powerful and fierce but precise. That's what we're going for. We're going to then lower all the way down to our tummy. So hug those elbows in. Say good morning to your triceps, everyone. And then we're going to bend our right leg. We're going to do our little scorpion roll over to the left. We come back. And then we're going to bend our left leg. And we're going to do our little scorpion roll over to the right. We come all the way back. We are then going to push back up into our plank. This is the one thing that I want you to try and resist the Mexican wave on. And then we're going to scoot underneath that imaginary gate. We're going to crawl all the way back into that little ball. And then our heels are going to go down, our hips are going to go up. So we're back in our forward fold. And then we're going to roll up through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, to come all the way up. We are going to go one more time through. So we're going to inhale, take our arms up nice and wide. We exhale, bring them all the way back down. Our chin's going to come towards our chest. And we're going to roll down through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once we're in our forward fold, we're going to bend our legs, lift our heels off, curling up into our little ball. And then we're going to twist over to the right, make it long and strong and glorious. We come all the way down. And then we go over to the left, indulge in this moment. We come all the way back. And then we're going to walk forwards like a lion or a lioness into a plank. Good. We're then going to gently lower all the way down onto our tummy. We're going to bend our right leg. We're going to roll over to the left like a scorpion. I don't think that's a noise a scorpion makes, but we're going to go with it for now. You're going to bend your left leg. We roll over to the right. Good. Come back. And then from here, we're going to come back into our plank. Really hug that belly button up. And then we're going to slowly scoot underneath that gate. So we're going to come back into that little ball. And then our heels are going to come down, our hips are going to come up. And then we're going to roll up through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, to come all the way up to standing. Oh, so good. Give those shoulders a little roll. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take this sequence and we are going to slide a more traditional yoga sequence in the middle of it. So we're going to do the first part of the sequence and then listen out because there's going to be a game changer halfway through. So we are again going to inhale, lift our arms up nice and high. We are going to exhale, take them all the way back down. Our chin's going to come towards our chest and we're going to roll down through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. So from here, we're going to bend our legs. Our heels are going to come off the floor. And then we're going to curl over, or twist, should I say, over to the right. We come all the way back down. And then we're going to twist over to the left. This movement never ends. Good. We come all the way back down. And then we're going to walk forwards into our plank. I did like a fist grab then. That's like a boy band, like fist grab. Ooh. We're going to come into a plank. I was channeling my inner lion. So the game changer is going to happen here. So we're going to lift our right leg now off the floor. And we're going to step that foot in between our hands. So if it didn't make it, literally pick it up, place it there. Maybe you need to put the left knee down just for a moment to get it there. So from here, now really root down through the feet. You are going to inhale, come up into a lunge. So just for a moment, maybe you want to kind of check in with the pelvis. Is it kind of tipping forwards? Is it tipping backwards? What feels good? Just have a little maybe experiment with that. Now when you're satisfied, you're going to lift your arms up above your head. So for the last 2 weeks, we've been going over the waterfalls, Herbal Essences style. We are not going to do that today. So we're going to say a momentary goodbye to the Herbal Essences advert. And we're going to do a slightly slower version of this. So same, but slightly different. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice big inhale. We are going to exhale. We're going to fold forwards. Our arms are going to sweep behind us. And this time we're going to stay here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little shoulder rotation onto this. So I want you to try and rotate your arms so that the palms of your hands point out towards the sides of your room. So if I was kind of to give a thumbs up, it's like you almost want to go hitchhiking. So you want to point, imagine, the thumbs up towards the ceiling. And I just want you to notice, how does that change your shoulders? Does it make it slightly different? Does it feel different? And we're going to take one breath here. So from here, we're now going to do that lovely magical trick where we stand on one leg again. So what you're going to do is your arms are going to sweep down. You're going to shift your whole body weight forwards. And then you're going to slide that left foot in. You're going to lift the left knee up and lift the arms all the way up above the head. And hopefully you've made it with me and we're standing on one leg. So if not, just take a little moment, find this balance, take a nice big deep breath. And then from here, we're going to hinge forwards and we are going to slide and glide that left foot back into a lunge like a ninja. So we want to go as quietly and as gracefully as we can. When that foot lands, we're going to come up into a lunge. So from here, we're going to turn the back leg out. I'm not going to specify by how much. It's however much rotation you have in that leg. We're then going to side lunge. So we're going to bend our left leg. You're going to straighten your right leg. Your hands are going to come together in front of your heart center. If you would like to, you have the option to lift those right toes off the floor. So really, again, a little bit like our stirring the pot. This leg wants to think of rolling out slightly. Yeah, so you're going to stay here. For those of you that maybe have been practicing a little bit longer, maybe you've got more range of motion in the hips. If you want to come a little bit lower, you are more than welcome to. Go wherever you are able to go to. I'm going to demonstrate from here. So we're going to take a nice big deep breath. And then from here, we're going to take our hands as if we're holding a massive ball of fire. And it's really hot, so we want to throw it over there somewhere. So what we're going to do is, these front toes, the right toes are going to go back down on the floor. We're going to slowly start to bend our front leg. We're going to straighten the back leg. We're going to turn the foot in. We're going to pivot on it, so we're now just on the ball of the foot. And then we're going to throw our fireball over to the right. So we've got this beautiful big curve going through the body. And our legs, if you're slightly confused by this, our legs are just back in a lunge, so a normal lunge. So we're going to take a nice big deep breath here. We are then going to come into Warrior Two. So this left arm is going to circle over the top of the head. The right arm is going to come under. And the left foot now is going to turn out, so the heel is going to come down towards the floor. So we're going to look towards our front hand. You're going to slightly lift your chin and you're going to smile. Because smiling helps everything and it's free. And right now, the world needs a little bit more smiling. So from here, we're going to flip our front palm up. We're going to reach forwards, up, and then we're going to slide our back arm down our back leg, coming into our reverse warrior. If you would like to, you can take the half bind here. So you can take the back arm off, turn it in, and bring it behind you to your front hip. But I don't want you to try and latch that arm onto anything. So can you actively hold that arm in the bind without actually taking the bind? I know, confusing. So try not to hold on or let your kind of hand just like wrap around and then kind of latch on and stay there. Actively see if you can hold it there. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. Good. We're then going to circle our arms like a windmill. all the way down towards the floor. We're going to turn that back leg back to parallel, and then we're going to add a twist. So we're going to lift our right arm all the way up towards this ceiling. And I really want you to try and see if you can use the spine to kind of rotate. So it's not just the arm going, hey, look, I'm so flexible. It's you actually want to open your whole chest. And then from here, we've got that little challenge again. So we're going to try and come from here into our side plank. So today I'm going to be nice and I'm going to show the easiest option first. So option 1, place that hand back down. Place the left shin on the floor and you can slide back into this kind of half side plank. So that's option number 1. Option number 2, if you're thinking, actually, I think I can do that without putting the hand down, but I need a little bit more support with the legs. You're going to turn the left foot out onto the little toe edge of the foot, and then you're just going to slide or shuffle the foot back, so you'll always have 2 feet in contact with the floor. And you can have a slightly staggered side plank, just to give you a little bit of a wider base. And then option 3, I'm going to assume that if you want to go for option 3, you've probably already done it. You can just step that foot back in one big smooth motion back into your side plank. We're going to take 1 breath here. And then we're going to place this right hand back down on the floor, come back into our plank. And we're going to finish our little sequence. So we're going to lower down onto our tummy. We're then going to bend our right leg. And we're going to roll over to the left like a scorpion. Good. We're going to bend our left leg. We're going to roll over to the right. I really don't know if that's a noise that a scorpion makes. We're going to come now back into our plank. And then we're going to scoot underneath our gate to bring us all the way back into our little ball. And then from here, our heels are going to go down, our hips are going to go up. And then we're going to roll up through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, to go all the way up to standing. We are going to do this 1 more time so that we can do the sequence on the left. So, we are going to inhale, take our arms up nice and wide. We're going to exhale, bring them all the way down. Our chin's going to come towards our chest, and we're going to roll down through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. So from here, we're going to bend our legs. Our heels are going to come off the floor. We're going to curl up into a little ball. And then we're going to twist over to the right, make it long and strong and glorious. We come all the way down. And then we twist over to the left. Really make it juicy. Make it a moment. We come all the way back down. And then we're going to walk forwards into our plank. So now we have our little game changer. So we're going to now lift the left leg off the floor. And we're going to step that foot in between the hands. Remember, you can place maybe the back knee down or give it a helping hand if you need to. We're going to root our feet down. And then we're going to inhale, come up into our lunge. So again, maybe you want to have a little moment. Where's the pelvis sitting? Is it tipping forwards? Is it tipping backwards? Do what feels good. Maybe have an experiment. Maybe you didn't realise it was tipping forwards. Maybe you have to bend that back knee a little bit. Just kind of have a little exploration, a little experiment. Just see, what movement have you even got there? And does it change what goes on in the rest of the body? And then when you feel satisfied, we're going to take those arms back over the top of the head. So remember, we're going to do that folding forwards again. So we're going to inhale, lift up nice and tall. We're going to exhale, fold forwards. We're going to sweep our arms back behind us. And we're now going to take that little shoulder rotation. So you're going to see if you can rotate your arms so that your hands or your palms point to the outside of the room. Imagine that you're going to try and go hitchhiking. So you want to stick your thumb up towards the ceiling. Just notice how this now changes your shoulders. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And then from here, we're going to do that magic trick of standing on one leg. So stay with me. We're going to inhale, sweep our arms forwards. Our whole body weight's going to come forwards. And you can slide that right knee across your yoga mat if you need to, just to help come into this balance. So our right knee's lifting up, our arms are up above our head. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And then we're going to hinge forwards. So we're going to slide and glide like a ninja as quietly as you can. The reason I'm hinging forwards is to counterbalance that weight of the back leg so that it can quietly meet the floor. When it does, we're going to come all the way up into our lunge. So from here, we're going to side lunge. So we're going to turn the back foot out. It doesn't matter how far round. And then we're going to bend our right leg, straighten our left leg. The hands are going to come together in front of the heart center. If you would like to, you can lift those left toes off the floor. And if you would like to, you can come a little bit lower into, I mean, it's still a side lunge. Some people call this a Cossack squat. In yoga, it's called Skandasana. Kind of do what feels good for you, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do it halfway here. So we're going to take a nice big deep breath. Say a silent prayer for your legs. If you've had the uncontrollable urge to twerk, woo! Just see if you can gently scoop that tailbone underneath and stand up nice and tall. So from here, we've now got that beautiful big fireball in between our hands, and we want to throw it over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to plant those left toes down. We're going to stay nice and low. So can we move low through this? We're going to bend that left leg. We're going to lengthen the right one. We're going to turn the foot in. We're going to pivot onto the ball of our foot. And then we're going to sweep this burning fireball over to the left. So we've got this beautiful big sweeping curve through our body. You've now released your fireball somewhere into the distance. So from here, we're going to come into Warrior Two. So this right arm is going to circle over the top of the head. The left arm's going to come underneath, so it's like a windmill. And we're going to turn that back leg out so that we land in Warrior Two. So front foot's going to point forwards. Back foot is going to point towards the edge of your yoga mat. We're going to look towards our front hand. We're going to smile. Oh, you've made it. The fireball's gone. Woo! You've thrown it away somewhere. Good. So we're going to reverse our warrior now. So you're going to flip that front palm up. You're going to reach all the way up and over. And now you have a very clear view of what I meant on the other side about a bind that's not really a bind. So if you would like to take the bind, it's not mandatory. You're going to lift the back arm off, turn it in, and you're going to bring it behind you to your front hip, but it's not going to touch anything. So I don't want you to latch the arm on and just let it hang there passively. I want you to keep actively reaching without touching your body. So it's a slightly more active bind. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And then we're going to circle our arms all the way down towards the floor. We're going to bring our right leg back to parallel, and then we're going to take the twist. So our left arm, so same arm as front leg, is going to reach up towards the ceiling. So as always, your chest wants to open too. So we really want to twist from the spine. Okay, so now we've got that lovely challenge. We're going to go into side plank again. So remember your three options. Number one, place that left hand down. Place the right knee down. And you can swivel the shin as you slide the left foot back. So you've got a little bit more support here. It's like a kickstand. Obviously, if you want to go without that left hand on the floor, maybe you shuffle or slide the foot. Or maybe you just step it in one fluid motion back into your side plank. Really see if you can lift those hips up nice and high for me. And whichever option you're in, if you want an extra challenge, can you turn your head and look towards your top hand? We're going to take one more breath. And then we're going to plant this left hand back down on the floor. Well done, guys. And we're going to finish our little sequence. So we're going to lower down onto our tummy. We're going to bend our right leg. This is your final scorpion. Woo-cha! So really, go with attack. We're going to bend our left leg. If someone can find out the noise that a scorpion makes, that would be great, because I really don't think it's that. And then from here, we're going to come back into our plank. We are going to scoot underneath our gate one final time. And then from here, listen carefully. So we're going to lower our heels to the floor. Our hips are going to come up, but we're going to stay here this time. So we're going to stay in our forward fold. And you can slightly soften the knees here. If you're able to, you can even bend the legs enough that you can make a little shelf that your chest can rest on. Maybe you want to hold on to either forearm here. So it's really like you're a rag doll. Everything's just gone. Good, take a little moment here. Maybe you want to take a sway from side to side. And then you're going to let that fade away. You're going to release your arms down towards the floor. And you're going to roll up through your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Woo. To come all the way to standing. You're going to give those shoulders a lovely big circle. Good. We're going to circle them the other way around. Wow. Oh, I feel really loosey-goosey. I'm absolutely sweating my tits off in here. So yeah, good job everyone. Nice work. I can't see you, but I feel in spirit. I know that you're somewhere behind that screen working hard. So well done. So now what we're going to do is, because we've worked so hard, we're going to wind things down. We're going to head back down to our yoga mat. So you're going to come right to the front of your yoga mat. If you've been in the Fuchs Method group for a while, the first ever Move It Monday that we did was sitting down and standing up with no hands. So the only thing that's not allowed to touch the floor is your hands. You can, if you need to, maybe place a knee down, maybe a shin down, maybe the side of the bum, and then come down. But you're just going to come down to sitting on your bottom without using your hands. If you're able to, maybe you just squat all the way down and gently come onto your bottom. So hopefully you've made it down with no kind of tumbles or accidents. But what we're going to do now is you're going to sit on your bottom. Your feet are going to be right at the front of your yoga mat. We're going to take our hands underneath our knees. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to roll our shoulders back. And then we're going to lean back just a fraction so that we can slide onto our tiptoes. So from here we're going to see, can we lift our right leg? And then our left leg off the floor. And we're going to take a little moment here. If you'd like to, you have the option to let go of your legs. If you'd like to keep hold of them, keep hold of them. Good, take one more breath. And then we're going to gently lower the feet back down again. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add on, like we did last week, the roll to this. So obviously, disclaimer, if you have any injuries to your spine and you're unable to roll, don't do the roll. You can just hold this. If you're all good and you're okay to roll, it's safe for you to do so. We're going to add a roll to this. So just make sure, have a look behind you. Have you got enough space to roll backwards without hitting your head on anything? And then we're going to go for it. So we're going to take our hands back underneath our knees again. We're going to lift up nice and tall, roll our shoulders back. We're going to lean back, slide onto our tiptoes. And then we're going to lift our right leg and our left leg off the floor. So for this roll, you can hold on or you can let go. It's up to you. But we're going to roll back behind us. And then we're going to see, can we re-find our balance? Dun, dun, dun. So you're going to do this 3 more times for me. Don't take yourself too seriously, just have fun. It's just a little moment of play. If you're kind of lying on the floor in a heap right now, giggling, thinking, what? How'd you do that? Just see if you can maybe try again. Maybe you learned something from the first one that didn't maybe come back up again. And just have a little experiment. So what needs to happen to bring you back up? Is it core? Is it your hip flexors? What is it that brings you back up? And what is it that keeps you balanced? Question time. I'm not going to answer them. I'm going to let you try and figure them out yourself. Good. Let's do one more. I've definitely done more than 3 as well. We're going to do one more. We're going to hold it here for 1 breath. So it's super important, everyone, that even as adults, we play. You can learn so much from playing. So it's my top tip for you today, everyone. Go and play. It's good for you. Okay, so we've been there long enough. So we're going to plant our feet back down on the floor. We're going to give our legs a nice big hug. Oh. And then we're going to come all the way up. And we're going to use our forearms. That's right, everyone, you heard me. You're going to use your forearms to bring you all the way down towards the floor. Oh, isn't that lovely? We're going to come down to lying on our back, and then we're going to draw one knee and then the other in towards our chest. And we're going to give them a nice big hug. Maybe you want to take a little rock from side to side. So we are going to wind things down now. So you're going to let that rocking fade away. You're going to keep hold of your right leg, but you're going to extend your left leg all the way down to the bottom of your yoga mat. So we're going to take a twist. So your left hand is going to stay on your right leg. Your right arm is going to go out to the side. If you don't have room, maybe you bend that arm at the elbow like a cactus. And then we're going to let that right knee come across the body over to the left. If you want to, you can shuffle your left hip underneath the right one so they stack one on top of the other. That's just a kind of a personal preference. Do what feels good for you. If you'd like to, you can also maybe turn your head to look at the right, and it just increases that twist all the way up through the back of the neck as well. So we're going to take a nice big deep breath here. And then we're going to gently bring that knee all the way back up. We're going to give it a nice big hug. And then we're going to change sides. So we're going to release that right leg all the way down. We're going to bring that left knee in, really give it a nice big hug first. And then we're going to take the twist. So your right hand is going to stay on that left leg. The left arm's going to go out to the side. Maybe you can bend it like a cactus if you're limited with space. And then we're going to take the knee across the body over to the right. If you would like to, you can shuffle that right hip underneath the left one. And if you want to, you can turn your head to look at your left hand. But we're going to take a nice big deep breath. We really are winding down. The hard work is done. So let your body start to soften. And then we're going to bring that knee all the way back up. You're going to give it a final hug. And then we're going to release that leg and we're going to make our way all the way down into our final relaxation. If lying with the legs long is uncomfortable on your lower back, just bend your legs and plant the feet on the floor. Maybe take them wide, let your knees drop in. But do what feels good for you. Don't kind of suffer in silence. This is meant to be the final relaxation, so get nice and comfy. And we're going to gently, wherever you are, flip the palms to point up towards the ceiling. We're going to lightly draw our chin down towards our chest, just lengthening the back of the neck. And if you do feel comfortable here, I'd like you to close the eyes. Slowly settling into stillness of both body and mind, to truly rest, restore, and replenish. So if you'd like to stay here a little bit longer, you are absolutely more than welcome to. You're at home, so just stay where you are. But if you would like to slowly make your way out of this, we're just going to start to bring some life and movement back into our body by gently moving our fingers and our toes. And then we're also going to gently turn our head from side to side. And then we're going to let that fade away. We're going to take our arms up above our head, taking a nice big stretch all the way from our fingertips down towards our toes. We're going to release that. And then we're going to bring our knees back in towards our chest. Give them a hug. Give them a hug them like you love them. And then we're going to roll all the way over to the right side of our body, making a little pillow for our head with our hands or our arms. And then we're going to slowly come all the way up into a comfortable seated position for you, whatever that may be. So we're going to take the hands together in front of the heart center. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining me this morning and sharing your yoga practice. I hope you all feel amazing and all loosey-goosey now so that you can go about your day in a fabulous way. That was quite possibly the cheesiest thing I've ever said. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the class. If you have any questions, comments or feedback, please do let me know. If you have donated already, I cannot thank you enough. It means the world to me. If you would like to donate, if you've enjoyed this class, the link for the donation page is on the description of this group, or if you're following this on YouTube, it's in the caption below. So thank you, and if you're unable to donate, that's absolutely fine. I know a lot of you are in a similar position to me where you've lost your job, you've lost your income, but if you've enjoyed the class, if you find it useful, if you find it helps you physically, maybe mentally as well, please, please, please scream and shout about it. Tell all your friends, get your family members involved, get your friends involved, do a little post on social media maybe, I don't know, but it would honestly mean the world to me. So thank you and have a beautiful day, everyone.